didn't have the I didn't have it out. No. Okay. Well, anyways, I will play that in just a second. Where the heck did all the video clips go? Okay, there they go. It's been 3 weeks. Okay, leave me alone. Overlook the fact that we've been doing this for like almost 2 years now. Wow, almost 2 years now. Think about that.
And the fact that you've been sitting here gabbing for 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, I got to prep myself, and for talking later on in the stream, I got to get myself, all set. But, that didn't help when I didn't have the intro out and ready to go like I usually do. No, didn't help at all. Okay, well, hello there. Welcome to the Force Collective. I'm going to play the intro in just a second. But first, we got... but first, I want to say it's been a little bit, so hello. And I'm glad that you guys are all here today. And we got like quite a bit to talk about besides... okay. We got quite a bit to talk about when it comes to Star Wars in general, not Andor. There's not a whole lot to talk about in that regard because it's very slow. Anyways, we got Tales of the Jedi that I want to start off with first, and then we'll get into Andor. That one's gonna be fun. But first, we're gonna roll the intro.
Wait, were we meant to watch Tales of the Jedi as well?
I was hoping
I forgot to.
I was hoping that you had.
I'm having enough trouble getting the motivation to bloody watch Andor, and now you're wanting another show?
Well, I figured since it's one of their animated shows, and those tend to have a better track record than their live actions at times, that you would have watched it.
Well, not according to Twitter.
I think it went really well. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I do have a little bit of an issue with some things, but I disagree a lot with the rejection I see from some comments on some circles. I don't understand what they were expecting.
I definitely need to watch it. I genuinely forgot, and maybe that, once again, that is probably of note, but I forgot, and I haven't seen much talk of it, period.
Okay, well, then we will probably save the Tales of the Jedi discussion for next stream then.
But I'm happy if you spoil. I'm not one of these people where it's like, oh, don't spoil it for me. It's like I'll end up spoiling it for myself anyway. So if people do want to talk about it, that's no big deal.
Actually, you only need to watch 3 of them because the other 3 are about you, so you already know what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. 3 of them are about you, so you already know what happens there.
Nice.
But seriously though, like we can maybe tiptoe around it, not be too spoilery, actually, because
but just leave it till next week. We've got we've got 3 episodes of Andor to go through.
That is true, but that's still not a lot. I mean, if you really want a long discussion, you probably would have wanted to wait till we've watched 6 episodes at this point.
The other thing briefly worth talking about, and this may be for another episode, like that Chapek memo that came out.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, what?
So, so...
Wait, what?
Okay. Ooh, I've got news for you all. Okay.
She's got news. Nice. Okay.
This I did notice. So I think it was like Friday or something. So basically, and this is obviously in the works for a while, I think they either released or leaked, I forget what, this memo from Bob Chapek to just all of his executives. And so he was basically saying that Disney's not in a good financial situation. And he's struggling to achieve profitability for Disney Plus, their streaming stuff. And so that coupled with the fact that the kind of, I don't get why we're saying like an impending recession. In my view, it's kind of like we've already got. It's like we've already got kind of a crappy financial. Sorry, shouldn't have said that word. Family friendly, but we've got a bad financial situation.
That one, I
That
think
word
you're
was
okay
family
with.
friendly.
You're okay with that
Yeah,
one. Go
yeah,
ahead with
it's
it.
Australian family friendly. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So we've already got a bad. I feel like the financial situation for it's already bad, but obviously people are thinking there's going to be a big recession where it's going to get even worse, and so Chapek was kind of saying, basically combined with the fact that they're not doing good right now, and the fact that hey, there's probably going to be a recession soon too, which is going to make things even worse for us. We're going to have to do a bunch of things, and that includes like the first thing he says is first we have undertaken a rigorous review of the company's content and marketing spending, working with our content leaders and their teams. While we will not sacrifice quality or the strength of our unrivaled synergy machine, whatever that is, I love this phony corporate speak. We must ensure our investments are both efficient and come with tangible benefits to both audiences and the company. So that first thing, most people have been talking about the second item is second, we are limiting headcount additions through a targeted hiring freeze. And there's mention
Kathleen, for Kathleen.
There's mention too elsewhere that there's probably going to be cuts. Like whenever you see a company saying we're doing a hiring freeze, and especially when they say at some point, like towards the end, how he's saying they're gonna work to kind of make the company more nimble. Like okay, so like the school I used to work at, they were like, oh yeah, they would say before they fire a bunch of people, we're going to become a more nimble institution. That's like always. If you hear the word nimble, it means there's going to be a lot of cuts and firings and stuff. So, but people have been talking a lot about kind of the workforce element, the firings, the hiring freeze, all that. But that first part I mentioned, we're reviewing our content and trying to see, what's bringing value and what isn't. So, I'm very curious about what that's going to mean. Because if you can find plenty of articles about how Disney Plus is a money pit, and it's become the pit just becomes even bigger and pittier, like with each year, because of the number of shows that they're adding on, and yes, and very expensive ones too. So I'm curious. Despite the fact that they are throwing all this money at Disney Plus, and we've seen the shows coming out, and it isn't just Star Wars. I've heard things, people talk about it affecting Marvel shows and other things that are on Disney Plus, but I know more about Star Wars, obviously. Production quality's been kind of a mixed bag. Like Book of Boba Fett. Kenobi, like even things that aren't necessarily like a production quality thing. Like if you notice, for instance, like in Kenobi, like how many humans, like human characters there are, and there just don't seem to be a lot of aliens. It's like that.
Yep.
That's to me. That's obvious. They're trying to be cheap because having those kind of characters are just more expensive to have than if you're just gonna put a bunch of humans in robes. That's just how it is. But so I'm curious. It's like, okay, if they're going to be cutting, one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to have, we're going to have stuff looking worse, and unless sometimes I could conceivably see how, like, okay, if you set this limit and have kind of cuts on production costs or whatnot, if that's ends up what happens. I could see how that could force some shows and the people making kind of creative decisions to actually be ironically wise because they're working with this limited budget, and it just makes them a little more.
I mean, the thing is that talented people can make a low budget look really good.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I think some of the big problem with the Star Wars Disney Plus shows is the fact that they've just the tap's being turned on and they've just gone wee.
Yeah. And
And
the other
it's
possibility is just having projects just cut entirely.
Yep.
and this might actually happen
Alkalite,
because
alkalite.
you know,
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah, you know how they just a couple of weeks ago it was a very sounded story through the media that Kathleen Kennedy was told to stop announcing projects because they were like, whenever you say something's coming out, 2 months later you say it's canceled, so stop saying stuff is coming out. And I'm like,
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, they should stop trying to announce all these big projects because they are just that. They are projects, they are ideas, but they are not greenlit. They are not authorized. They haven't even begun planning any of it. I mean, Taika Waititi was so sure he was making a Star Wars movie, and now he isn't.
Yeah, it sounds like some
thank
number of these are
God.
going to end up being Batgirled, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, uh, yeah. So that's interesting, and I'm wondering, like, and it's weird because it's like they're cutting all these things. Are they going to ever like try to put Star Wars in movie theaters again in some way, shape, or form? I don't see how, and I think they know that from a PR standpoint that's really really risky.
Ryan
Mhm.
Johnson seems to
The
believe they
the
will because every 2 weeks he's talking again about his Phantom Star Wars trilogy.
the
Yeah,
um
that one. Ugh.
the thing is that they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to actually have a Star Wars movie,
Yeah,
but
they need it, but I don't.
and it's not a case of oh, we'll just not say anything and just let it go. No, eventually they're going to have to release one. If they're going to keep on releasing TV shows, they're going to have to do a movie.
Mhm.
But the thing is that I think they know that they've only got one shot. They don't have a do over. There is no do over. If the movie is crap, it doesn't matter if they set up a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth movie. It ain't going anywhere. So they kind of have to be extremely certain, and I think there's a way, I think there's a path of A, saving money, and B, making sure they come out with a good Star Wars movie, and that's by firing the bloody story group and Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes, that'll be
They back
interesting to see who
themselves.
goes, if anyone
Yeah, they,
goes.
they, they really back themselves into a corner here because the smart thing to do at this point would be to stop producing so many of these shows they have no idea how to handle. I mean, if you want to put out one, okay, put out one and give it time to actually be correctly done. But they can't do that because they need content for Disney Plus. So they have to announce all these big projects to keep people paying the subscription in the hopes that next month they might have a new show. But by doing
Yep.
so, they can't focus on quality, and they don't have the talented people to do more with less. So in the end, whatever they do, they lose.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and that's probably the biggest problem. They just do not have the talent. They don't have the talent pool to be minigunning this content out.
Nope.
Because I
think
mean, you know, especially with the Book of Boba Fett and Andor, there's some really good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
they're just not implemented correctly at all. I mean, with the Book of Boba Fett, it it really needed to be set out correctly. It wasn't.
Nope.
Andor seems like 2 good shows, maybe 3 good shows. Just 2 good shows and 1 show that should be completely rewritten, just mashed into 1 show, making
Mm-hmm.
it sort of not good.
Yep.
Um,
I think also it's not just like a creative issue too. It's like I think I'm just wanting to like kind of from the business angle of it. It's and I know and obviously we all know why they're doing that. I think they're relying too heavily on streaming, as the thing to for their
Mm-hmm.
content and in abandoning the box office. And yeah, I get why they do it. It's like yeah, they're not going to necessarily make as much. They're not going to make as much money doing that. But it's like if you just put something on your streaming service, it's so much easier to kind of mask the reception of it and just say, oh, look at all these people who are watching it, or it's whereas it's there's more transparency if you were sending that content out into the theaters and
Mm-hmm.
it'll be very apparent how well it's doing or not.
See, I think the mistake that they've made is, they've looked at the profits that Netflix has been making and going, yeah, we can do that if we do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing that it's the variety of the content that is alluring to customers,
Mm-hmm.
not the fact that it's streaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Netflix isn't doing so well either. That's the thing.
No,
That's also true.
and that's because when they started producing stuff, they've done the exact same thing that every other Hollywood company has done. Hired creatively bankrupt people and hired a lot of activists.
And
Yep.
another problem that arises from all of that and impacts directly on the diversity matter of the content is that they have already damaged their brands. Their 2 important brands being Star Wars and Marvel. They are too damaged to pull people in. People no longer care about their product. The people don't get excited. This is why Andor is not getting views. Andor is a good product. I mean, we can
No,
say
it's not.
whatever about. Well, yeah, it basically is. But even if we dislike some parts of it, or even if you don't like it, yeah, it's solid compared to the others, and people are not watching it. And it's not that they don't like it.
No.
It's not that they don't. It's that they don't care.
Yeah. Is it good compared to Kenobi and Boba Fett? Yeah. Is it good? No, it's actually extremely mid. It really isn't.
Well, yeah,
And
the comparison makes sense, but the debate here is not whether or Andor is good enough or not. It's, I mean, compared to what we have been getting, it's a good product, but it's not enough for people to come back just because you say, oh, it doesn't suck as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been hurt by Boba Fett and Kenobi, where
Yeah.
it's and we've said this before. It's where people. It's not just that people don't care enough to watch and enjoy it. It's that people don't care enough to hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there's certain things where it's
That's
like
one way to say it.
Kenobi could at least get people care enough to either really like it or hate it. Like, but it's like it's it. I think with And it's the same thing where it's like I just don't hear as much about Marvel either. I hear more about Marvel than I do about Star Wars. But it also is kind of just getting to the point where it's like people are just kind of like yawning,
Marvel,
like,
yeah, Marvel's not in a great place, but
Nope.
yet it's still not anywhere near where Star Wars is
Yeah.
at the moment.
It's not as
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, I agree. It's not as bad.
I mean, the thing is that if Bob Chapek walked into Feige's office, grabbed a newspaper, and rapped him over the head, and went, "Stop doing stupid stuff," it could be fixed. It you can reverse. There hasn't been enough damage. One of the main reasons is because there's at this, phase 4 didn't really have any continuity with anything else.
Continuity.
Yeah,
I think
that word.
yeah.
I mean, the closest was, Wanda's storyline, but even then, that wasn't really a big sort of, a big through line. You could just
Yeah.
watch them all without necessarily watching everything else, which is not something that you could have done with phase 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
I
the
think
thing
also
is that
yeah.
the damage has been more reputational than to the canon and storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think also it's what helps with Marvel is like I think the audiences for those movies like it's kind of a mix, but I think there are a lot of people who they don't necessarily watch all the movies and like care about like a continuity what I mean, it isn't like Star Wars. Like there are people who just will like say just watch the Guardians movies, and they kind of just exist in their own kind of universe for the most part, or they'll just watch, it's like they'll just kind of pick and choose kind of. And even though these are all part of the same cinematic universe, it's like people don't, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people don't necessarily I don't want to say care about that as yeah, I'll say care about that as much.
I feel like they don't pick at it. That's sort of what I think.
Yeah.
They don't pick at it like that.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars fans do.
Yeah.
Yeah, different kind of audience, and it makes it easier for Marvel to succeed despite not being true enough to the material or not caring enough about certain things and quality and all. I do believe that in Marvel's case, the biggest problem is not even Feige. The problem is Feige handed the keys to the kingdom to Victoria Alonso, and Victoria Alonso is incredibly stupid. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy does awful things for Star Wars, but she has a motive. Victoria Alonso is just stupid. The woman can't understand the product she's trying to market.
Yeah, that's actually true.
So what you're saying is that Kathleen Kennedy is evil, and this woman's just clueless.
Yeah.
This is what I'm meant to do, right?
But anyway, since we probably ought to start talking about the Andor episode as much as, as enjoyable as this discussion is. We got so much to talk about, like so much. You have no idea.
No. Theoretically, we have so much to talk about.
Well, yes, theoretically, but never mind. Nothing. There ain't really much to talk about. The last episode is the only one that's really given us much to talk about. So,
Well, see, the biggest problem is that I can't remember 8 and 9. I
you can't
was
remember the
meant
last two?
to I was meant to rewatch 8 and 9 so I could have it, fresh in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched now a long YouTube video and completely forgot about
Well, that basically, I'll give you the rundown then. Basically, episode 8 is about Andor's prison life, and episode 9 is the prison break. So there you go.
No, hang on, 10 was the prison break.
Oh yeah, 10.
Yeah,
Sorry,
10 was the prison break. Yeah.
Sorry. But 8 and 9. Well, 8 is how he got into prison. 9 is about his prison life and contemplating escaping, and also the old man dying, which was actually sort of sad. I actually did like the old man, quite a bit actually.
Yeah, but
But
I mean, the thing was that if they had him alive at 10, it would have been a big case of either he gets pushed into the water and drowns,
well, yeah, that's
or
also true.
Or he gets shot.
or he gets shot because he's walking so slow.
That too. That too. Well, I do hate that they did that to him though, but I guess that is true. But that's basically what happened though. Like there really wasn't much that went on, and the worst thing about that is like you got to try to enjoy these episodes, but they're so slow,
Yeah, too slow.
Well, as it was stated earlier, there's slow and then there's anesthesia.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I will say I almost had high praise for episode 9.
Why was there an almost there?
Oh, easy, because when Cyril, and it is Cyril, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Where Cyril was brought into the ISB, and they're talking about Andor, and I've gone, oh, they're not. They're actually going to have those two team up finally, and it feels natural. It feels, this is how it should have been. Cyril was doing something a little bit silly by constantly pinging stuff up on the thing, so he's being dragged into the ISB, and now they're going to team up and do all this, and wow, I'm gonna have high praise, and then Cyril's kicked out and just sent back to home.
Yeah.
And that's when I just wanted to stop watching. I just it's just I really don't know how to put into words how just utterly sort of, I don't know if frustrated is the right word, but just sort of it just really felt like something like that should have happened, because the thing is that they would have both found themselves an ally.
Yep.
What's her name would find someone who would be utterly loyal, and Cyril would finally have someone who would actually believe him and sort of give him the resources to go and hunt down
Cassian.
But no, they turn Cyril into a bloody goddamn stalker and just
Creep.
yeah. And now it's just getting to the point where I just want Cyril to take a very long walk off a very short pier, and seeing how it's in Coruscant, there ain't going to be any water to break his fall.
That's very true.
Yeah. I don't know. Leading up to episode 10, it really felt like everyone's playing chess, but they're not at a chessboard.
Yeah. That's true.
They haven't even got to the chessboard yet to open it to play chess. But oh no, we're so playing chess, and here's my move and that's my move, and it's just like you don't even have the pieces in your hand. You're not playing chess. What the hell?
Yeah. They I don't understand like why they've written the show the way they have.
Hey, like I said, it's 3 shows that are just mashed in together and made worse because of it.
Well, yeah.
At this point, if they were going to do something with this serial character, I mean, I don't see where they are supposedly going to go. I was hoping from the beginning to have him be this obsessive character that will haunt Andor because he ruined his life or something like that. And now we get this creepy guy who is, I don't know if he's obsessed with catching Andor, with the fact that he wants to help the Empire so badly, or if he's obsessed with Dedra. Or, I mean, you have to pick something for this guy to do and put him to do it, not just kind of hint like, oh yeah, he's going this way, but he might be going this way. It's like, no, you're...
At this point, I just want someone to shoot him as he's coming down the stairs for some strange reason. I'm so over Cyril. I'm just over that character, and seeing how they're absolutely not doing anything to him. Just give him a stupid death like pretty much every other death in this show.
Yes.
But well, seeing how we're not sort of going episode by episode,
yeah, we're not. Ain't no use.
I don't think there's a point in this case.
Good point. Well, the way everything's feeling, it feels like, episode 8, 9, and 10 is actually one episode, not 3 split up.
Yeah, I agree.
That's exactly how I felt the whole time.
When damn it, I can't remember the character's name now. The guy Andy Serkis was playing.
Kino.
Yeah, him. All through episode 10, I was sitting there going, oh, all of the prisoners are going to become a rebel cell. And then only 2 of them bloody swim to the shore. Or, all of them just jump into the water.
Yeah.
Complete wait. It makes me wonder what the hell the prison storyline was about.
Yeah, like why did they get us to like his character? Just to kill them all.
But I mean, it's not so much liking the character. It's
Well, I know that.
why did the prison scene even exist? Why did the whole prison storyline exist?
At this point, as stupid as it may sound, and coming from Lucasfilm, it's no longer a surprise. It might just be the besides the
Empire's
social,
evil?
yeah, besides the Empire's evil message. The only outcome I can see from this is that he meets the guy who is cameoing from Rogue One, the guy who escaped with him. They might be stupid enough to have just done all this 3-episode arc to justify that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, that is the guy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
one of the
I-
squad members.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it now. I didn't realize that was him at first, but now I do. Especially now that you said it.
Yeah, I remember someone pointing that out actually. But yeah, complete waste of time.
Yep.
Could have. See, what's really funny is that the Andor storyline is like the weakest part of the show Andor.
It really don't feel like a show specifically about Andor. They really shouldn't have
No.
called it that.
I care way more about Luthen, and he's on scene like 5 minutes.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes. I absolutely loved that speech.
Yeah, that was
It was a
awesome.
good-
That
at the
elevator scene was great.
It really was.
And you know, when the double agent sort of goes, "What have you sacrificed?" You know,
Yeah.
what have you sacrificed? And I knew the answer before Luthen had even
Yeah.
said.
Says
And
that,
that's what
you
makes
see
it
that.
really sad.
Yeah, when
I
you
know.
see
It is
when you see
really
this, it is.
It's really sad that the minute he said that, you knew essentially what the answer Luthen was going to give,
Yeah,
and the show's not about Luthen.
yeah,
It's-
Yeah.
the best character is a background character of a show,
yeah.
and you got more characterization, and I think it's because I've forgotten the actor's name.
Stellar Skarsgård.
Him. He's just been chewing the scenes, every scene he's been in.
Yeah,
That and you know, yeah, it's kind of a little bit cliche, but I mean the thing is that you knew the answer. Oh, and for every writer out there, that's how you do a dark hero character.
Yep.
yeah,
Agreed.
That's how you do it. You know, he's the type of character that realized there's no hero parade for him.
yeah.
There is no being in the history books, because he's just brutally gotten hundreds of people slaughtered. There is no limelight.
The way he said, the way he says, the way he says when the guy is like, "Oh, but Krieger's men are going to," and he's like, "Yeah, they're going to die, so you can keep your cover." So what? And it's like,
yeah.
I mean, you totally believe he doesn't care.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely. And what's actually really good is that you kind of know that he does care, but the thing is that the mission sort of comes first type situation.
Yeah,
You know, the way the character's portrayed, you know that he does care, but the mission is more important. So he will happily, or unhappily, sacrifice those 50 people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's always focused on the bigger picture, and he's always telling these other characters. He told this to Vera and to Mon Mothma, like look, you guys, we can't pull punches here. We are the small guy. We don't get the luxury of doing things in certain ways. We have to take whatever win we can get. He's always trying to convey this message to the people he talks to.
Yep. And that's
yeah,
one thing I
if you
like,
can't
though.
if you can't blow someone up, stab them in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or stab them in the front.
I like how it's sort of like I guess trying to give you that sense of like the rebels aren't angels, like Rogue One was doing.
Yeah.
So I like that little connection there,
Well, actually, sorry, Ham. I just realized a more succinct. This is how you do a morally grey character.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you do a morally grey character.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what do you mean? We already had Riva.
That's a bit of a stretch there, Chrono.
No, because you need to have morals first to have a morally grey character.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sorry, Riva, no.
Just no.
If you are just raw instincts, you're not morally grey anything. You're just an animal.
Yes.
I wish I wouldn't really need to say that about a character like her for obvious reasons, but it's unfortunate, to say that. It's not a big case of if you do not have morals, you can't have a morally grey character, and Riva didn't have that.
Nope. But as far as other things to talk about in this show, like what else is there to talk about? At least for this arc of episodes. I mean, because as me and Chrono were talking about, they go in like they have this rule of 3, which is very apparent. And
what, 3 minutes for the one story, 3 minutes for another?
Well, it's not even just that, but it's the 3 episodes focusing on a particular arc that has multiple things going on in it, but still like doesn't tell you much at the same time. But they keep doing these things in like groups of 3, like we get 3 episodes of the Aldani event, we get 3 episodes of I think whatever that was. Was Aldani the first
no, the prologue was we got 3 episodes for the prologue when we meet Andor, and then we get Aldani, and then we got the prison
going back home.
Well, no, going back home.
That was only one episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, that it was like an intermission, and then we go back to 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I think the only other thing to talk about in this 3 episode arc was the Mon Mothma thing, which I think it's super boring. I don't understand where they're going with this. The whole thing with the banker and the fact that that she turns out to be related to Vera, and it's like, yeah, you're telling me all this stuff, but where are you going with it? What's the point?
And why
Well,
should we care?
yeah. I mean, that's the biggest problem with pretty much all the storylines except Luther's.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I still believe that if they were going to, I still believe that Mon Mothma needed her own show.
Yes. I don't think the show should be about Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's the thing is that
That seems to be a
it's
trend.
Yeah.
Like
what do you mean?
they'll do a show about a certain character, and then they'll like make it about another character, or like they'll have another character will take a significant chunk of that show's time, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
But I
They
mean,
have that
the thing
tendency.
is that they've shown us enough interesting stuff that would make me interested in like a small Mon Mothma show. A show
Mhm.
from sort of like probably where she is now to the speech that makes her the Gorn massacre speech, I think it was the one that
Mhm.
made her wanted by the Empire.
Mhm. Yeah,
I was correct, right?
I think so. If I'm not
Cool.
mistaken.
Well, sorry, I'll make it nice and simple. From where she is now to essentially where she came in on Rebels.
Yeah.
That would be, but I mean, as I was sitting there watching it, and this would have been a really cool experiment if they had have tried it. But almost having 3 shows, one based around Mon Mothma, one based around Luther, and one based around Andor. Mon Mothma is the political sort of, for a lack of a better term, the White House shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
political drama type situation.
Yeah. Exactly.
Luther's the espionage show,
Mhm.
and Andor is the heist show.
Yep.
And the thing is that those those 3 shows are intimately connected to each other, but also separate. So you know how have you guys seen the Arrowverse crossover shows?
Yeah.
I know about them. I haven't watched them myself though.
haven't seen them.
Well, when they do the crossover shows, one story will be on Arrow, one part of the story would be on Flash, and one would be on Legends of Tomorrow. I think there's also another show that was meant to be on, but I can't remember. But
The
anyway,
Flash.
Yeah, I said the Flash.
Supergirl.
Flash,
Supergirl.
Legends of
Supergirl.
Tomorrow.
It was Supergirl.
Oh,
The other one.
Supergirl. That's it.
Yeah.
But all 4 of them, if you watched it in the correct order, would make one big story. That's
true.
how I feel
I remember
like.
that.
That's how I feel like they should do. They should do it with these shows, if they ever did it.
They really should.
So
what
it's
happens
not
to
like.
all of them being connected?
Pardon?
You know, I was saying like the way that we got started off with these Star Wars shows is that they were all going to be sort of connected to each other, and where is that connection? Because they don't feel like that. They don't feel what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's a different level of connection.
Well, I
'Cause-
know that, but what I'm saying is like these shows don't have that same feeling of connection, though.
Well, you mean all the shows that Kathleen Kennedy's heading don't have
Yeah.
that feel?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like her shows that she's done feel like they have no connection to the new Mandoverse that we were supposed to be getting,
or the original trilogy, or anything with Star Wars.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But what do you mean? Kenobi was obviously connected to the original trilogy.
Oh, wait, you're serious? Let me laugh harder.
That's funny. But I do agree that they really could work on that.
Because the thing is that all of the Mon Mothma storylines feel a little anemic.
Mm-hmm.
They feel a bit sort of not as fleshed out. But the little bits that we're getting, kind of make me want to have more. I'm kind of wanting to see more of the sort of
Did you just say more? Not only did you say it once, but you said it twice. Should have expected it.
But yeah. And now I've completely lost track. But there just needed to be interplay between. Well, actually, I can't remember what episode it is, but the scene where they're all kind of sitting around drinking and debating.
Oh yeah.
There kind of needed to be a serious version of that. Not just, oh, this is just really funny. Oh, yes. Oh,
yes,
oh,
I know,
yes.
right?
The Empire is so much better. Oh, no, the Empire is not. It's so, it actually feels like a discussion that Kathleen Kennedy and her cronies would have over drinks, rather than what real politicians would be sort of sitting and doing type situation. Well, sorry, no. Real politicians would probably be sitting around drinking like that, and but there needed to be some more sort of at the business table type of situation and having a serious discussion about policy. And I really think that kind of would have worked. And you still could have had the scenes between Mon Mothma and Luthen as it sort of, to connect them to the two shows and all that. And then have Luthen do his little espionage spy type of situation, which he would then give the information to Andor, and then Andor would steal it. And then, you have that ISB list actually be important rather than just some fluff on the side.
Yeah, I actually I agree a lot with what you just said about the ISB, because I love all of those scenes. I love the imperial stuff. I love the stuff with Dedra and these other guys. But we're shown that they are moving towards this objective, but they never achieve anything. I mean, I don't understand the timeline, how much time has passed since they started, because they show this progression between the events within the ISB. and days are passing on, and not they still don't get to do anything. The biggest thing they did the biggest thing they did was catch the guy they wanted to flip. That's the biggest achievement they have gotten the whole show.
And I'm absolutely over the ISB scenes.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely done. And I think it's because, like I said earlier, everyone's playing chess, but they're not even at the chessboard yet. So why bother having the ISB?
True enough.
Why bother having those scenes if I'm absolutely over them. Now, granted, finding out that one of the double agents I think he's one of the directors.
Mm-hmm.
That actually piqued my interest. Now I wouldn't mind.
I agree.
But the thing
I was surprised by that.
I was too, to be honest. They didn't lead up to it. But
I mean, that was one of the surprises that was actually good.
Yep. Exactly.
That's why you sort of take things a bit slow to have surprises like that. The problem is that when 75 wait, hang on a second, we can calculate, when 70% of your show is slow, you kind of don't care when the big surprise comes out like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at this present moment, I have this real big feeling that in 2 episodes he's going to be caught and shot.
Yep, you're probably right.
That's a very interesting question. Where is the season going to end? Because we know this is season 1 of 2.
Hang on. Better question. Where the hell is the season going, period?
That is actually a very good question.
It's got to go somewhere before it can end.
That's true.
And that's probably one of the biggest problems with this whole 3-episode arc rule thing is that
we're wasting time.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Because I think Lucian. Hang on, is Lucian or Luther?
Luthen.
That's probably why I keep Luthen. Luthen's storyline is the only one that feels like it's moving anywhere.
Yeah,
that's true. This show should be called Luthen.
It really should.
But if it was, But if it was, Andor would be the main character.
Well, isn't that what we wanted? Isn't that what we were looking for?
Maybe, probably.
I mean, even I can't screw it. Even the lesbians character storyline are going absolutely nowhere.
Oh no! Don't go there. You're going to totally freak out, Shade. You're going to send him into a spiraling rant.
Oh man, you know I'm about to go on to one about lesbians.
But I mean, why bother having them?
They're
in the first place. If
they keep showing the least interesting lesbian, though, like they keep showing the least interesting. And
what
I mean,
the sister of Mon Mothma?
No, she's not the least interesting. She's clingy. The other one has nothing going for her besides medical stuff. That's literally it.
Oh, yep.
No.
Do medical stuff. That's it.
Be fair. We just got a great scene from her leaning from a side of the building, looking into the door.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of what door? No idea.
no idea, but she was leaning against the door, so
But
I gotta give her
and
that.
what's worse is that what's happening on I can't remember the planet's name now.
I can't either.
Was
the
it
junkyard
Ferrix?
planet.
Was it Ferrix?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, um, oh god, boring lesbian. Boring lesbian could be breaking out Andor's ex or slitting the throats of some of the ISB agents or something.
You're asking way too much. You're wanting her to actually be interesting.
But why have her on the planet if she's just going to sit there and do a whole bad Batman impersonation?
Yeah, but basically, she's there to wait. The plan is so stupid because she's supposed to be there waiting in case Andor shows up to kill him.
Yeah, but she's doing a very poor job at it because Andor is not going to be there.
Nope.
Nope.
And that just makes me feel like, are they trying to waste more of our time with this? Because these things are pointless, knowing that, he's not going to show up. At least not there. Not right now.
At least for another episode, he's not going to show up.
Exactly. Like, what are they trying to accomplish here? I don't understand.
Yeah, and the thing is that all of the, for lack of a better term, good episodes,
They're always the third episode.
yeah, funny that. Well, no, they're not always the third episode. They're not always the third episode. Episode 7 stuffs it up for that statement.
Oh, true. True.
But even all of the good episodes don't seem to have us move anything.
True. I agree.
It feels like, oh, something's happened, the storyline's moving, and then you realize, oh wait, hang on, it kind of really hasn't moved that much.
Nope.
It really hasn't moved. The storyline of between 5 and 7, yeah, kind of like took 2 steps forward and then went, oh yeah, we're done.
Yep.
And then sat back down. So even, we're at episode 10 and I don't think anybody could tell you where the story's going.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it trying to lead to? Because,
No idea.
I mean, obviously it's trying to lead to, like, the rebellion being formed and all that stuff. But...
And Cassian being a part of it.
And yeah, exactly. But it's not giving us, like, it's not giving us a clear storyline as to what we're getting, It's just showing us all these random things and be like, oh, well, this is what what we're going to do. You'll figure out in the end what we wanted. So we're not going to leave any hints here for you. You're just going to have to guess until then.
And even then, they don't.
Unless they pull a She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Yeah, we don't want that to happen. We
Yeah, because
really don't want that.
they did exactly that with She-Hulk. They showed many different things happening to Jennifer, and in the end, all of that went out the window, and the ending made no sense to all of the stuff you saw before. And it's like, I hope they don't do that with Andor.
Yeah, you're forgetting one thing though. Nothing made sense in She-Hulk.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Nothing ever will make sense in She-Hulk.
Do
you think they'll make a season 2 to that? I hope not.
To She-Hulk?
Yes.
No, according to Tatiana Maslany, there's no way because she hasn't heard a thing, and it is said backstage that Feige was very angry with the way things end up.
I mean, I would too if, I was running something and somebody took their own initiative in things and ruined it,
Yeah, this gal woman who was in charge of the show, she really ruined it.
But then again, Kathleen Kennedy still has a job.
Yeah.
True. An unfortunate truth that we have to deal with every single day.
There is quite literally too much failing upward in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There really is too much failing upward. But yeah, no. There is this one question that I kind of would like to ask everyone.
The answer is no.
Dear.
One of the leading criticisms of the sequel trilogy was that the world building was almost non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a feeling with Andor that they've gone 120% in the opposite direction?
I do, actually. I do agree with that.
They've just got to sort of gone, oh, so you want world building? We'll have all of the world building.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking they did.
Of course, making the complete opposite mistake of world building. Because the thing is that the way I've thought of it is very much like a tour guide at a zoo. The sequel trilogy was, okay, on the left we have a snake, and on the right we have a wombat. Now let's keep going. On the left, kangaroo. On the right, a lion. Let's keep going. But now it's sort of a big case of on the right we have the fruit bat that has fur and pointies and looks a bit like a little puppy and eats fruit, and it can be found in these tropical areas and yada 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 and yada yada yada, and 3 hours later you're still on the goddamn fruit bat and you're going move to the next animal.
Agreed.
Where sort of George Lucas's world building was, hey, on the left are meerkats. Look how cute and happy they are. They'll stand up to try and see how, as a sort of security system to Sentry. And now we move on. But, if you wish to know more, see this. So we got enough world building to sort of go, if we're interested, we can keep on watching. But not so much that we're just sort of going, yeah, we get it. The Empire's evil. Can we please move on?
See, that's the problem. They want to make sure you know it, okay? So, I mean, you obviously didn't know how evil they were before. So we got to make sure.
So they've got to make sure with a 3-episode prison scene on really boring white set.
It did.
Where
it
they
did
just
like look a little boring, you know.
You know, at least have a goddamn bloody a play area. just a little bit of an outdoor area.
A lot of people describe those episodes like THX meets The Shawshank Redemption.
THX?
Yeah, George Lucas's experimental film before it all happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not watched that. I might have to...
Well, it's his experimental film company thing that he did.
Oh, okay.
It's not a movie, right? I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's just a company that he made while he was like early on in his film career, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember the details. It's been a while, but yeah, something like that.
But yeah, no, it just seems like all of the world building in Andor is just at that excruciating detail. Which would have been fine for one episode, but when it gets to episode 3, you're just sort of like going, okay, we get it, move on.
Yeah. The whole prison thing that they wanted to show you this other side of the Empire, which is pretty much the same side we already know, that they are evil and they will treat people like crap. I mean, it could have been done in one episode instead of 2.
They'll treat people like numbers, which we already knew about. You know, from pretty much every other Star Wars media.
Yep, exactly. So why people act like they need to build that up a little bit more, I don't know. The way they did it,
I find it.
Because don't you know the Empire is like Trump, and Trump will have people in white prisons and get them to work, and evil and slave camp and
I think you guys.
Oh, sorry, Lady Tano. Were you drinking tea again?
Dang it, Sarawa, you keep trying to choke our Mary Sue. We can't have that now.
Well, hang on. Isn't she a Mary Sue? How is she choking?
Hey, you know, like, that's true. Wait a minute. Hold on, Commander Tano. You're not a fake, are you? Huh?
No, I may be Mary Sue, but it's like I can't tolerate. Well, that's the thing. I don't know whether I should have called those microaggressions or macroaggressions. Like, because it's like, I don't know. There's got to be some. Maybe there's some middle of the road term for that. But whatever those were, like,
mini aggressions.
Yeah.
Well, dang it! Now you're microaggressing our Mary Sue. How dare you?
Microaggressing.
Says the guy who says the guy ranting over a boring lesbian.
hey! I'm only
while
saying
slaughtering children.
Oh, you mean like this? I mean,
I still love the knowledge that Hayden Christensen went boo to get the reaction from that kid.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
it really was. It really was.
Uh,
Oh gosh. Well,
actually,
anyways,
actually, I remember those two guys actually meeting up. I would have loved to have had them reconstruct that scene with how they
Yeah.
look now.
yes. Actually, I
Yeah.
want that now. I want that. I really do.
That would just look real. It would look really weird, but it would be
It would.
hilarious.
Beautiful. Weird.
Uh,
Beautiful.
and actually, frankly, all you would need is probably just them in a green screen.
That's true.
Um,
I'm sure they got
but
the money. They can recreate it.
Well, not after that memo, you gotta question whether the green screen would be available.
True. That is true.
Um,
I didn't think about that.
hey, it would get them so many likes on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Agree.
the child murdering community would be crazy about it.
I know, right? I can tell you because I'm a part of
The child murdering community.
it.
Well, yeah, everyone has a
everyone's
community.
got to, yeah, and everyone
Yes.
needs to feel represented.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like come on, I don't feel represented enough. But I guess being a white male is, representation enough, apparently. But that's okay. I won't hold it against them.
But yeah, it's actually really fascinating. We've managed to go through all 3 episodes of Andor, and we've only just reached an
Yeah,
hour. We've pretty much done Andor in an hour. And that's an indictment
Yeah.
on Andor.
That's true. Oh no. Well, that just shows where the shows went so far. Which is nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, this is why I'm sort of having trouble understanding people saying, "Oh, Andor's great," or "Andor's a good product." And it's just sort of like, cool. Describe what happens in Andor. You'll be done in 10 minutes.
But that's a really big issue with audiences today. It's like you read their reviews or their descriptions of what they like, and they get excited over nothing. It's like they just don't have the ability to actually understand what they're seeing, and if they like what's on the screen, then that's enough. I was reading this reviews like you say on Andor, and they're calling it 10 out of 10 the best Star Wars ever, and I'm like, are you stupid? I mean, I enjoyed the show. I'm not gonna trash it, but how is it the best Star Wars ever? You would have to do a lot of explaining to kind of get to that conclusion.
Well, see, the thing is that you've got to remember that people will normally watch this for quite easily.
Yeah.
So, what's the next thing after this? After Andor, I keep forgetting.
Isn't it Bad Batch?
Yep, Bad
I
Batch.
think, yeah,
Bad
Bad Batch.
Okay, and I mean like live action. What I guess it's.
Oh, live action Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Oh, is that before Mandalorian season 3? or not?
I
I don't
think
know.
so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think so.
actually, I'm not sure now. Don't we have a trailer for Mandalorian season 3 now?
I think
Oh
we've had
yeah,
2.
yeah, we have two.
So, okay, so why don't we have one for Ahsoka if it's going to be next?
Good
That's
question.
The question right there.
And when is Ahsoka? When is that supposed to be out?
Well, now I'm not sure. I have no idea. I legit like
That's how little
nothing
we
matters
care.
at this point. Yeah, exactly. Nothing seems to matter at this point. Like they've not given us anything to feel hyped about.
This is what
Well,
happens when you concentrate all your energy into angry lesbian rants.
No. This is what happens when you put all your energy into boring lesbian stories.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I hadn't
The funny
noticed.
thing about that is they just never learned. They just did it with Black Panther, and it cost them China, and it was so funny to watch that.
Hey, Lil Oak. Sorry, that was a very late hello. Hello there.
Well,
I
that's strange.
yeah. I hadn't paid attention to the comments on this one for some reason. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
What were we saying?
I don't know. Like, what are we talking about at this point?
Well, I think like I just don't. It'd be so interesting. Like, yeah, I think the Ahsoka show, whenever that comes out, yeah, I think I think it would do better in terms of viewership than this. Although,
Yeah, well, because Kathleen Kennedy won't have anything to do with it.
as far as we know,
Yeah, as far as we know.
don't necessarily count on that.
Yeah.
But still, it's like I think even if it's like even if that happens to be a good show, I don't think that's going to help Disney Plus in terms of viewership. It's because once again, like I remember like months ago, I like did a whole bunch of polls and I'd pair up different shows kind of on, like what do you think more people will watch, Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi, all these things, and I would pair different things, and it's like I think some people were like, oh, like of course Ahsoka, like a lot of people watch it. I'm like, well, like yeah, in kind of our little in like kind of the bubble of Star Wars Twitter where people like watch the Clone Wars and all the stuff. Like yeah, I can see how you'd think like, oh, that would be pop, but I mean, but if we're talking about just a general audience and most people, say with most people, like their familiarity with Star Wars, it's mainly limited to the movies and maybe The Mandalorian, but that's kind of it. It's not that kind of show isn't just going to have that kind of draw for them and that meaning. So I just see like characters that are native to animated Star Wars. That's just going to be a niche thing. That's just how it is. So
Yeah.
the interesting thing will be the only thing I can think of coming up that could like boost Star Wars interest, and I don't think it's going to do that, but I think it's got the best chance of doing that, is Mandalorian season 3. But once again, I feel like so much between the fact that so much time has elapsed between the last season and whenever they release the next one, and also it's like I feel like it's just kind of hit its zenith. Because I think people, there's more story to be had about kind of, Mandalore itself or whatever. But I think most people who were into that series weren't into that aspect of the story. And that's why I also think for a lot of people, and probably myself included, even though, yeah, I know the end of season 2 left some loose ends, I'm very happy kind of regarding season 1 and season 2 is just kind of that's the book. It ends there. Like I can have in my own head canon, you know that
That-
Grogu and Mando that they're gonna be back together, all that. And I think that's the way it is for probably a lot of people. There's just and the fact that now it's kind of muddled, where you have quite a bit of what should have been in the Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. I don't see how they're going to kind of pick up at season 3 without it feeling weird, unless you had watched that episode from the Book of Boba Fett, and it's like they couldn't decide whether they were going to do just a big, Book of Star Wars and just have a whole live action, kind of like have a whole live action Clone Wars where it would just be you get different little arcs of episodes, like 3 episodes. We're gonna have it be set in this place with this characters, and then we're gonna jump to this other like set of 4 episodes in this place with these characters, and then jump, and if you have that, then the audience knows what to expect, and like can kind of roll with it. But they didn't build that audience expectation because they built the expectation that no, we're going to have these discrete shows about these discrete characters. And so if you want to get with the story of this character, you watch this show and this one. And so they kind of muddled up the expectations. So there's going to be a number of people who might jump into Mando season 3 and be like, "What? Wait, what on earth? Why is Grogu back? Like, what's going on?" And also I feel like those episodes that were in the Book of Boba Fett, I don't know if I were doing them that way, I would have expanded them. I feel like we got through that arc of them being reunited and all of the stuff with Grogu and Luke. I feel like that all just happened too quickly, and it
And
just
I still think it was a mistake that they put them back together.
Same.
But they've got to make money somehow, and
Well, they could have
They-
just had a show about
they
Luke
do.
and Grogu. Which would
and
be
the thing is like the most profitable, the most profit they've gotten from that show is, from the first, mainly from the first season, because then it's all new and novel, and ooh, now then after that it's like, ooh, sell all this you see all this Grogu merch in all these stores and all that, but they can't. Grogu's already been revealed, so it's like adding more seasons to the Mandalorian doesn't do as much in terms of merchandise as the first one does, and that's probably generally true of any show.
But tell Bean counters that.
yeah.
Well, and yeah, I'm kind of, I mean, it's sad. I'm kind of glad that they're not aware of it, because it is kind of funny in kind of like a watching train wreck sort of way, seeing
Yeah.
seeing people make horrible decisions with money. But but yeah, I don't see like after season 3, I don't see what they've got after that to get people kind of excited or interested. I don't think. What do they have?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
Like
correction.
the Acolyte's going to get canned probably, and that's the thing. All these other little things, they're all going to get canned. Like
actually, that would be an interesting question. Well, sorry, that would be an interesting thing to see, because David Zaslav is doing everything that Bob Chapek should be doing to Star Wars.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at this present moment, even though the critics absolutely hate it, but Black Adam is doing extremely well with the fans.
Well,
Might not
Yeah,
be doing
I've heard.
extremely well at the box office. I've actually got no idea if it's doing well
It's not.
at the
It's
box office.
it's
It's not.
it's set. It's going to lose 100 million.
Okay.
Really?
Well,
Wow.
it's kind of a little bit understandable because if you sort of said, if you asked the general public who Black Adam is, they'd go, who?
Yeah.
Where you ask
True.
comic book fans, oh, did you hear The Rock's playing Black Adam? Really?
Hmm.
It would get people excited. And from the look of it, he's not scared at losing money because, he canned Batwoman. He was more than happy to eat what $90 million loss. Just absolutely cut that out
to protect the
Yeah.
public.
Yeah. But I mean, it was to protect the brand. Frankly,
Yep.
he's just sort of he's gone. If we release this, we're done. It's going to just blow out the side of the brand, and it doesn't matter what we do. I would have loved to have seen Brendan Fraser as Firefly.
I would have loved to see Michael Keaton back as Batman at least for a brief moment.
But you will in the Flash movie.
No.
Wait, the Flash movie, huh?
Yeah. But if DC takes flight and starts just raking in, we might just see the end of all this bullcrap.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, is it too early to say if he succeeded or not? Oh God, yes, absolutely. Black Adam is not the measuring stick. It's what comes after Black Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Black Adam's the I guess you could say the line in the sand. Here and no further type situation.
Yeah, and because you get all these films are like often years in the works. Before you get the final product. So I think
but
I think it would take some time to kind of see results.
I think, yeah, but I mean, with the way that he's going about it,
yeah,
I'm sort of thinking 1, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not, because I mean, let's
Yeah, this is current situation is actually very interesting because they are at the point, like you said, this is a line in the sand. They are going to, at the very least, stop doing what they were doing, which was not working. Now the question everyone ponders is what's the new direction going to be? A lot of people within the fandom are concerned and not too happy because James Gunn is hinting that there won't be any Snyderverse connections. And this is a problem because a lot of the DC fan base is stupid and is expecting that the Snyderverse will return in all its glory to do whatever they felt in their heads that they should have done in the first place. And this is not what James Gunn has planned, and this is not something a lot of people within DC and Warner want to do. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I don't hate the Snyderverse, but I don't think that was the right direction either. So the fact that they're going into a new direction, completely new, it's good. But a good portion of the fan base is not happy with that. So it's going to be tricky to lure them in to give the new stuff a chance because they are already expecting.
It depends. It depends. Well, sorry. The question that would need to be asked is, he says that there's no connection to the Snyderverse. Now, is that no continuation of the Snyderverse, or no connection as in everything's completely new? Because, or are we talking about no connection to the Snyderverse, like the way the Suicide Squad had no connection to the Snyderverse?
I don't really know what. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, you just made
because the thing is that Rick Flag, that was his character's name, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Flag. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a Snyderverse character. But
yeah.
So sorry, I'm trying to put into words. I guess sort of what I'm asking or trying to see is that, is it a case of they don't delete the history of the Snyderverse, but they don't necessarily continue? Because the thing is that they're keeping Aquaman 2 and they're keeping the Flash.
Yeah.
So if that happens, then it's not like they haven't gotten rid of the Snyderverse. It's just they're not really continuing with that direction. And if it's just a case of they're not continuing with the direction, I don't see anyone really having that much of a problem.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't specifically say that there will be no more. What he said was he was reading some tweets and someone asked him that if the new direction he was taking would consider the Snyderverse for it, and he was like, "We're not really doing that at the moment," or something like that. He said, and he was like, "We're trying to
what did the tweet
it.
say?
I don't remember the exact words of the tweet, but he was like dismissing the idea of the of them working more on the Snyderverse, and it was more like, oh yeah, we're going to do an entirely new different thing. Something like that is what he said.
No, that's a little ambiguous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think that yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Rose.
And I think that.
Okay. Sorry. Go.
I think the real issue here is that right now they want to do something different, and James Gunn says we want to listen to the fans. Okay. And the whole premise right now rests on Superman. They took advantage of Black Adam to reveal to the world that Henry Cavill was back. And the Rock tried to do a little stunt there, kind of pushing himself as the hero who brought Cavill back. I don't know, and I don't really care if he did. The point is he's back.
Mm-hmm.
But Zaslav said before all of this was revealed, he said that the new direction of Warner, whoever took over with DC, would be Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And he never talked about Justice League or about any crossovers with anything. He was like, we're going to do Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. We want them to be the icons of DC and Warner moving forward, which is kind of what happened before the whole Justice League and Snyderverse thing came to happen. because when we had the Nolan films and the other Superman films, I mean, yeah, you can say whatever about Brandon Routh and all, but at least they were doing something separate with the characters, and they were kind of having some hits there. And the Nolan trilogy, we all know, did very well. Now, I don't know if this means they plan to do only solo films like they did with the Batman, because the Batman was also supposed to be a one shot, and now they're talking about making more, which I don't really like.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
was that before or after the sale? Because wasn't the Batman and the talk about the sequel
yeah,
of the
the
Batman
Batman, the Batman
previous regime?
happened. Yeah, the Batman happened in the middle of the whole process, so it's hard to say. They were also they're also talking about the Joker. I think it was canceled, the second Joker movie they were going to do with Phoenix. I don't really know, but it's going to be interesting moving forward because they are they are right now in the best position to go somewhere profitable, which is what these media corporations need to do. And I don't see Disney, in this case, Disney going the same route. I mean, they don't seem to understand how badly they need to do that.
Well, but I mean, the thing is
Exactly.
that it also depends on how successful DC is. Because if DC is incredibly successful with this new direction, it's not going to matter if they understand or not. They're just going to follow the money.
That's sort of what DC tried to do with Marvel. That's why they created the
Yeah,
Snyderverse.
Mm.
Yes, that is true. But that was um more trying to chase the pack leader while instead
That
of chasing the trend.
that's what I'm saying. Disney will do though. Like if they start to succeed, then Disney will probably want to try to follow that and see if they succeed.
Well, because I mean, the thing is that it's a difference. It's the difference trying to copy somebody than realizing that, oh, hang on a second, they got rid of all the activists out of their company and they're doing well. So what do we do? Oh, that's right, just do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the activists out and try and get people that actually know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
You know,
the situation for both companies is very different because Warner and DC were not really given a chance. They what happened with them was that they ran out of money. They had to be sold, and the new management went like, you know what you're doing doesn't work, and now that this is my company, we're going to do things this way. In
yeah,
Disney's case, that won't happen because they are not currently at risk of going bankrupt. So the only way for this to happen is for a lot of people in the higher ranks who have these stupid ideas, they need to go, but they are not going anywhere.
but hang on, didn't say didn't
Okay, but
Well, he just left. Well, really quick side note. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah, really quick side note. Once he gets back, I'll mention it. Yeah. Okay. Really quick
sorry
side
about
note
that.
before you continue on. It's okay. But speaking of DC though, uh you guys have heard the awful news recently, right?
oh yes,
What's
yes I
that?
did, about
Kevin
Kevin Conroy.
Conroy.
What?
Yep. He's passed away recently.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
No. It hit me really hard too. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'll give you a moment to think about that for a second.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a huge deal within the Batman franchise. He really made Batman into who many of us think. I mean, when we think about Batman's voice, we instantly go there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, I but one of the new voice actors they've got for Batman isn't as bad. He's pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just can't for the life of me.
I mean, I don't know if I can ever bring myself to like anybody as much as I liked Kevin Conroy, though.
Oh, it's no comparison. It is absolutely no comparison. But it's a good replacement.
Good enough.
It's good enough. Exactly. It's good enough. I now I need to look it up. I
Yeah,
can't remember any.
because like whenever I think of Batman, I think of like the old animated series, and then when I played the Arkham games and stuff like that, I mean that voice is stuck with me
Yeah.
throughout all that, and I just love that voice for Batman. So it makes me sad to see that.
Yeah.
I was You should have seen me because a friend of mine told me this while I was at work, and I looked at him and I said, "No, you're lying. There's no way. There's no way." And then he shows me, and I'm like, "No, you're still lying. There's no way." And
Absolute denial.
yeah, yeah. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to believe it. But yeah, it's true, and however unfortunate that is.
Just hang on a second.
I was watching a clip on Twitter that they uploaded right about the time the news broke, and it was him talking to some kid, and in the Batman voice, and he was citing the lines the lines Jim Gordon says to him about the war not ending, and about who it's not who you are. The lines from the Nolan trilogy. It's not who you are
Oh,
underneath,
really?
but what you do
Oh,
that defines you. And I was hearing all that in his voice, in his Batman voice, and I'm like, wow.
I
Yeah,
need to
it's.
find that clip. I need to find that.
I'll look it up in my history and I'll send it to you.
Yes, do
I'll
so.
have
Please.
to get back to you on the voice actor.
Okay.
Funny enough, in the new Super Pets movie, the voice of Batman was Keanu Reeves.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I can see
Okay,
that.
I might have to watch that.
I might have to now as well. I wasn't interested at first, but now I am.
Yeah. Now I am.
But
because it's sort of one of those sort of it's kind of like a Heath Ledger Joker type of situation. You kind of, when you first think about it, you go, how the hell does that work? Then you sort of think about it and you sort of go, but we are talking about a really good actor here. So
I didn't like Heath Ledger's Joker at first, but then while watched it enough, he grew to be one of my favorites of all time. Besides Mark Hamill being the best voice actor for it.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it was sort of one of those sort of situations of it's his Joker was probably one of the most tragic tragic performances to watch.
Why's that?
Well, because the thing is that pretty much all of his roles prior to the Joker were all the pretty boy heartthrob type character.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was sort of like one that wasn't like that, but it wasn't a really deep sort of character type situation where he wasn't putting forth the maximum of his ability.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw the Joker and you saw how well he did it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting there going, you are never going to see another performance from him ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like, this was the peak, absolutely shown. I was absolutely offended that he got the Oscar for supporting cast, supporting actor, best supporting actor.
I mean, he was sort of a main character in that besides Batman. Like,
Yeah.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't call
expect
him a
but
supporting
because
character.
but because the movie wasn't called The Joker, he was supporting.
Dang.
But yeah, no, he absolutely should have gotten Best Actor that year.
Oh yeah. Agreed.
And then you watched Mr. I can't remember the movie after that, after the Joker, because it has a really complicated bloody name, sort of like Mr. Phantasman's something or other. I'm gonna have to look this up now because it's bothering me too much.
but
the thing is that you
Oh, Dr. Parnassus.
That's it.
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
And that was also quite tragic because you're sort of seeing that this is kind of he was actually I really need to slap myself in the face because I forgot about Brokeback Mountain. Probably because I didn't bother watching it for obvious reasons. But yeah, sort of, he passed away at the ascendancy of his career. And it just makes watching The Dark Knight just that much more tragic.
Yep.
Because imagine Heath Ledger's Joker in the DCEU.
Oh gosh, I would have rather had him. I would have rather had that Joker than the one that we got with Suicide Squad. That's for sure.
Leto.
Wasn't he like the next?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't like his
no.
Joker. Wasn't he the next live action Joker after Ledger anyway?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, after I saw that trailer for it, it really killed me on DC. Like Suicide Squad's what took me away from it. I didn't like it.
And to be completely honest, I think Jared Leto would have done a better job with better material. I'm not as negative about his Joker than most people. It was just more how they utilized him rather than the existence of him, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he was mad about the way the character was received, and he told at some point he told the audience on Twitter or on Facebook, he was telling people like, "Oh, it's not my fault, like like they gave me this."
Yeah. Because actually that end credit scene, I can't remember which movie that it was.
Probably Justice League.
Was it Justice League?
If you watch the Snyder Cut, most likely.
Yeah, how he's there, in post-apocalyptic world.
Yes, that's
Oh
Justice
yeah,
League.
that's the Snyder Cut. Yeah,
Yeah, yes. After seeing that, I was sort of like, he can come back. Yes, please. That.
yes, yeah, I agree.
It very much was the material he was given was just utter crap.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was. I kind of liked what they did with the end credit scene in the Suicide Squad. With him, breaking out Harley. Just if you could have just removed all of his parts in the actual movie,
Yeah,
it probably wouldn't have been as bad. I can't remember where I was going with this. No, that's right. Yeah, because we kind of were just going through actors and performances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still need to see Black Adam.
I need to see it
but
as well.
But sort of after hearing what David's doing to DC and all that, I'm actually excited for what's coming out of DC.
yeah, I am
Well,
too.
after hearing this as well, I'm where I've never been like in the current DC stuff. I'm actually, I mean, besides the Batman when it came out pretty recently, that one I really enjoyed a lot. But anything else, I hadn't really been like super into at all or excited about. So hearing this makes me sort of excited to see what they may possibly do.
Actually, one thing that I should bring up, and this is, I'm still finding this absolutely hilarious, is that DC animation is still killing it.
They always do.
Yes, it is.
I
Now,
just
that is
recently
something I
saw
can
the Injustice animated film,
I haven't
and
watched that one.
oh, it's really good.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it now.
It
I haven't
it's
had a chance to watch it.
it's very well done. It doesn't um it balances out everything really well. And sort of how it ends is actually quite surprising, and it's still mind blowing watching a DC animated film and going, and why can't they just do this in live action?
Exactly. Like who's writing the stories for live action, and why aren't they replaced with the ones doing the animated?
Well, yeah, one reviewer I follow, he's a Mexican reviewer. He's kind of famous here, and he was reviewing. I don't remember if it was Black Adam or something prior to. He was complaining about the way things were done. I think it was something before Black Adam, and he was saying, "Why do they keep doing all this subverting crap when they can just take the scripts from the animated universe and bring them to. He said exactly that, and I was like, yeah, we all feel that way.
Yeah, just stop DC animation for 3 years. Get all them, work on live action, and just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But it just I think I just think they got a bit too caught up with having Zack Snyder doing the Man of Steel film.
Yeah.
And I will say this to my dying day. That movie was not good enough to start a franchise off.
I love the movie, but I agree with that statement.
I agree. I like that movie a lot, but I don't think it's enough to jumpstart a franchise.
Yeah. Right, Superman? Wrong story.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, not even wrong story, just wrong director.
Wrong director. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
It really, it was not. It was definitely not the movie. It was not the Iron Man movie.
Before we go on any further, we've hit the 2-hour mark, so I've realized that we probably spent at least an hour and a half talking about literally everything else other than Andor.
No,
and
we
very
did an hour and a half on Andor, and then we did. Oh no, sorry, we did an hour on Andor. We did 20 minutes on what Bob Chapek said.
I don't think we did an
and
hour
then we did.
Andor. I'm pretty sure about 30 minutes.
We did.
I'm pretty sure about 30 to 45 minutes in the area.
No, we did about an hour on Andor.
Okay, fine. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, we did. Probably close to 20 minutes on. Well, actually, probably less than 20 minutes on Bob Chapek's memo. And then we did some more on just general Star Wars Disney Plus stuff, and probably only been half an hour on other geek media stuff. Actually, it's
I don't know. It feels like we've talked more about everything other than Andor. That's the thing.
At this present moment, Andor was still the maximum.
Oh, I understand your confusion. It's because you are not deducting the time you spent ranting about the boring lesbian.
Oh yeah. Sorry, forgot about that. Oh no. Oh well.
But
anyway,
isn't it really sad that we can't remember any of the characters' names in Andor?
I mean, except for Chrono over here. Chrono remembers like every single one of them, and not just the men either.
Yeah, in case anyone wants to know, the boring lesbian is named Sintra.
Sintra.
That's right.
Well, anyways, I think we're going to probably end this episode for tonight. I mean, if we keep going, we're going to turn this episode into a literally anything but Andor episode.
Hang on. Do you think Sintra's storyline or character would be just a lot more better if she was just like secretly killing stormtroopers while waiting around doing nothing?
Oh yeah, it would be much better if she was actually doing something, except standing around trying to look stoic or whatever she's doing.
Because just everything about her character just screams, in 5 seconds I'm just going to walk off, disappear, and then appear behind a stormtrooper's back, slit their throat, and then disappear again.
Look, you're trying to get them to write Batman into the story. That's not going to work.
No. But I mean, that's the feeling I get from the character. I it just reminds me of an episode of The Simpsons where I think it was the mafia and the Yakuza were fighting on the front lawn of the Simpsons house.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
and Homer's watching them, and Marge goes to pull him away, and he's just gone, no, I've got to watch. There's a small Asian guy just standing there. He's going to do something. The minute I turn around, he's going to do something. But no, come away from the window. But I want to see what he does. And the minute Homer walks away from the window, the small Asian guy just goes, "Ah!" And that's what I feel like this character is. And I'm kind of sort of going, come on.
Well, it really doesn't help her that she doesn't have any emotions either. Like she's a robot. I
agree.
That would be also another interesting thing that would happen if just all of a sudden her eyes go red.
You know, it's sad.
A gun pops out of her hand.
It's sad when we can come up with literally anything, and it would make her character interesting. Like literally anything. She could literally fall over, and die, and we'd find that more interesting than what she's done so far.
Yeah, but hang on.
Because you'd be wondering why did she die? How did she die?
God, I've forgotten how to pronounce his name now. Luthen.
Mm-hmm.
Luthen. Except for Luthen, name any character in Andor that's exciting.
Kino.
Nope.
I like Kino. Kino's the only one.
And we've left him on a prison.
Serial. Yeah, I know, right? I'm still mad about that. I'm almost as mad about that as I am about the Cad Bane thing in the Book of Boba Fett. Now that
oh, here we go again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
mad.
They should have. They. Two things should have happened with those prisoners. Either one, they hunt down every single guard and murder them, and then wait for a ship, to actually, take them off the whatchamacallit. No, actually, that's pretty much what they should have bloody well done.
They really should have. Honestly, now my sister brought this up to me, but shouldn't there be another way off? Why is there only one way out? And you got to think about it like this. There's Imperial staff on this station, okay? If something were to go wrong, where's their escape? Do they also have to wait for a ship or something like that to show up before they can leave? Or are there like some sort of escape pods or some sort of ships that float on water that they can use to escape? Like, why does it have to be, we got to jump out and swim in a place that's nothing but water? Like, what's the Imperial staff going to do in an emergency?
Jump out and swim.
Yeah, except that's not ethical for the Empire to treat their own staff like that if they want to, keep people running these places.
But you forgot the Empire is evil. Don't you know? They're evil. They don't care because they're evil and capitalist and patriarchal and sexist.
That whole monologue you did about the Empire not treating their people ethically, that was spoken from the Walmart employee within you, right?
I mean, because
that was a little bit of projection.
I literally started thinking about my job the moment I said that. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, we're gonna end right there because that's just a whole other rant right there waiting to happen. And I already started that before the stream earlier today. So I forgot how to do the outro. Okay, hold on, I got this. I don't have this. I can't remember how to do the outro.
We have a Discord that you'll find in the description, and Twitter. I don't know if it's in the description because
It is.
I don't have any control over the description, so I've got no idea what Jay puts in the description. He could have links to Al Qaeda or the Russian Federation. For all I know,
you'll never know until you look. So go
exactly. So if you wish for more craziness, join us on Discord. We could be a little bit more crazier, but no, we're definitely crazy. If you want to listen to more insanity, there is a doobly-doo with all the doobly-doos of previous episodes.
A playlist. Yes,
that's
playlist.
it. Playlist. Yes. I'm a YouTuber. I know what I'm doing.
You're doing better than me. I completely forgot all this.
So if you like this episode and like what we do here, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And I think Shay can now do the outro.
Yes. So with all that said, we'll see you next time. May the force be with you. And have a good night or day, wherever you are. Unless you're in the future like Soraya Way. He's already like a day
in that case, have a good tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good tomorrow. Have a good tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow.
May the force be with you. And I forgot to do the outro thingy. So I was about to hit end broadcast, I was about to do it. And then I realized, oh, wait, I haven't played the outro. So here we go. I am totally...
Gave you all that lead time to have you ready, and you just...
I'm not... I forgot how to do my job, where I've missed like 2 weeks of this. I for whatever reason, it's hitting me hard this time. Okay, anyways, enough rambling. May the force be with you, and I'm going to finally do the outro.